morning, students. Today we are going to study the third chapter from our book. The chapter's name is Soil Erosion and Conservation. I will be explaining you through various examples, and as far as possible I will be showing you some examples live. The first paragraph in this chapter defines about how the soil is formed and what is the importance of soil. So I will be starting about the details about soil. Alright, how it is formed. You know that the uppermost layer is the topsoil, and mostly the very fertile layer is the topsoil. And this topsoil is a home for many animals, and even plants grow in the topsoil. So we can say that the most important layer of soil is the topsoil. Alright children, now we come to first of all the importance of soil. The importance of soil. Importance of soil is, as I told you just now, that plants grow in the soil. So first of all, it is important for plants. The roots of the plants hold the soil and take nutrients from it, and they, with the help of support of the soil, they grow, they take minerals and water, and they grow with the help of the soil in the plant. The roots of the plants hold the soil very tightly, and they get support from the soil and also food and nutrients. With food I mean the nutrients and water from the soil. Next we have some animals like earthworms, ants, rats, snakes, rabbits. They make their home inside the soil. This soil is very important for the home of animals. Now next is how soil is formed. How soil is formed. Basically, soil is formed by the weathering of rocks. Weathering, we mean to say that breaking down of rocks. Breaking down of rocks can be due to some climatic factors also. Breaking of rocks, or first I should write here, weathering of rocks. Weathering. The weathering of rocks occurs by means of plants, animals, nature, etc. When the rocks break due to nature, they fall down in the water, and then when the pieces of rocks crush against each other, when they are rubbing against each other, due to their pressure, they break into smaller pebbles. When these pebbles rub against each other with force, they break into still smaller particles, that is sand. And this process carries on until unless the sand grains turn smaller and smaller, just like a soil, and they convert it into clay or soil. Next children, we come to the soil erosion. The carrying away of soil by means of agents or factors like water, rain, etc. This mainly occurs when the soil becomes barren due to many factors, which I will explain later on in the chapter. This topsoil becomes barren and loose, and is carried away with the help of the flowing water or with the help of the wind. Now we are going to discuss about erosion by water. First agent is water. This phenomena of soil erosion by water, I will explain you with a very simple activity. But since this is the monsoon season and it's raining, I will not get the dry mud or soil anywhere. I have used some crushed pieces of chalks, which is also a part of a rock only. So I'm going to show you, suppose this is the ground and this is the loose soil, the top soil is loose, okay, and now I will show you with the experiment or activity what will happen when the water will flow, when the water is going to be flowing on the ground which is having the loose soil. Now you just see the flowing water. What is happening over here? The soil is being carried away along with the flowing water. Hope you have understood how the flowing water carries the soil away with it. Alright, I hope I have been clear in making you understand. Thus the river banks become more and more lesser because it is being carried, the soil from the river banks is being carried by means of the flowing water through the rivers or from the rain. The rainwater also sometimes flows with a great speed. Right, so now what happens when this water reaches the plains? Suppose it is flowing from the hills or from the river banks and is carried and deposited at a plain, then what will happen? It will go on forming the like a wall, and finally the course of river will change because of this formation of a wall. It will make the river to change its course. The course means the direction of the flow of a river. Suppose the mud is getting deposited this side, slowly the river water will also start moving this side. Now we come to the erosion by wind. The loose soil is carried away by the wind because you know very well in the primary classes you have studied, my dear children. Primary classes, I mean in 4th and 3rd standard you have studied, students, that the roots of the trees hold the soil very tightly. I will draw a diagram to show you. This is a tree and its roots go and pass down into the soil and they are holding the soil very tightly so that the tree may be standing firm. When they are holding the soil very tightly to hold support, in another way they are also holding the soil so that the soil is not able to be carried away by the wind or water. This is what I wanted to explain to you, how the roots are holding to the soil while providing support to the tree or a plant. So the roots of the trees are playing a very important role in holding the soil and preventing the soil erosion. Now what happens when we cut down the trees? Suppose the tree is cut down from here. Then what happens? The soil becomes loose because the roots are no longer holding on to the soil. So they are easily carried away by the blowing wind. This experiment also I am going to explain to you this phenomena with the help of a small activity. Suppose this is the ground and this is my loose soil. The trees have been uprooted and this is the loose soil. Just see what will happen when the wind will blow. I am blowing the wind now. Can you see what happened? You have easily seen that the wind is carrying away the loose soil with it. That is known as a soil erosion. The loose soil is carried away by the wind. The strong winds, they carry away the loose soil, thus making that land deficit of good soil. The top fertile soil becomes less. Next is the soil erosion by the human activities. So this was the first one. Second one was the wind. And the third agent of soil erosion is human activities. How are humans now responsible for causing the soil erosion? Well, the human beings, they are causing deforestation. Deforestation is related to the one that I explained to you over here, that they cut down the trees for the purpose of making big hospitals, factories, industries, apartments, colonies, expanding the cities, etc. But when they are cutting down the trees, in another way they are making the soil loose. And when the soil becomes loose and is left like that without construction, then what happens? The loose soil is being carried away by the wind or by water, and thus erosion is taking place. The next human activity which causes or which is responsible for soil erosion is overgrazing by cattle. Farmers and the people, the shepherds who are having a lot of cattle with them, they take their cattle for grazing in one piece of land. But when they are taking their cattle for grazing over the same piece of land for a long time, then what happens? They graze it from that area, all the vegetation. They eat away. Grazing means eating. When the cows and buffaloes and goats, they eat the vegetation over there, they cause the land to become barren because they finish the vegetation over there. Then nothing grows over there. So that is known as soil erosion by overgrazing. This is how the human beings are responsible for the soil erosion. Now we are going to deal with the soil conservation, and the first method by which we can see how we can conserve soil is afforestation or afforestation. Afforestation means planting of trees, as simple as that. You know, it's very important sometimes to cut the trees for building apartments and other purposes, etc. But in the same way, we can help by afforestation, means planting more and more trees in an area. When we plant more and more trees, the roots will be holding the soil in that particular area more firmly, and the soil will be less prone to soil erosion. Soil cover. When the farmers cut down or harvest a particular crop, at that time the soil becomes loose and is left loose for a long time till the season comes for the growth of the next harvest, or for the next crop. Okay, so by that time, till that time, the land can be, the farm or the field can be covered by means of some grass or by planting some small plants which can keep the soil away from soil erosion, or even dried grass can be spread over that farm so that the soil can be prevented from being eroded by wind or by water. Next will be, so this one, second method will be soil cover. Covering the soil by means of dried vegetation or by growing some common plants like grass. Next will be the shelter belts. Shelter belts. What do we mean by the shelter belts? Shelter belts means making the hedges of trees or boundaries of trees around the farmland. Trees are grown as the hedges around the farmland like this. Then what do? They are going to protect the soil from being eroded. Suppose this is my farm and I have grown some trees over here. They are going to be acting just like the windbreakers. They will break the wind and they will not let the wind to carry away the soil with it. On the boundaries, they are grown, the trees are grown, the roots hold the soil and they cut the wind currents, and they prevent the soil being carried away with the help of the wind. Next, children, fourth number is the terrace farming. You have heard about terrace farming before also. I have already explained you in the previous classes, but we will see that terrace farming, actually terrace means steps or slope. Have you seen a hill? You have seen a hill. The hill is like this, especially in Assam and Nilgiri. We get tea and coffee from there. These hill slopes, when the water flows from the hilltops, the rainwater, they carry a lot of good soil, good topsoil along with them. So what do the farmers do? They cut this into a step, and growing a lot of trees or plants over there, especially the coffee and tea plants are grown in this. This is I'm just trying to explain to you that the mountains are cut into steps or terraces, and when the water flows from the topmost part of the hill, they will come and stop. The soil, good soil, will come and stop at the first step. Further, when the water will flow down to the second step, some very little good soil will be carried along with it. That good soil will be again stopped at the second step. Similarly, by the time that the water reaches the ground or the plains, minimum or negligible amount of soil is carried with it, thus preventing the soil erosion from the hilltops. This is known as terrace farming. The last we have building embankments. Fifth one is building embankments. Building embankments means around the river. Around the river means at the banks of the river, we build strong walls of big boulders. Okay, so that will not allow the river to change its course, and the river water will be confined within its edges, and further the river water will not be able to enter into the side lands or the other lands which is very much attached to the rivers, and so it will reduce the amount of soil erosions around the river banks. So with this, children, we come to the end of this chapter. Hope you have understood the chapter well. Thank you.